seated. Good evening, Crusader Nation and Mother Nature. Board Vice President, Board members, Superintendent Dr. Turner, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Fitzpatrick, members of the administration and staff, parents, relatives, welcome to the 62nd commencement of Delsea Regional High School for the class of 2022. Throughout the ceremony, we would ask your consideration in helping us honor our graduates by preserving the importance and the sanctity of this event. At this time, I wish to introduce the President of the Student Government Association, Christian Gaetano, for this year's graduation exercise.
Yeah, great. Please stand for the presentation of our colors by the JRTC and the national anthem, and the remain standing for the reciting of the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which one nation, under God, liberty and justice for all. Please allow for a moment of silence in the memory of victims of conflict throughout the world and in respect of their families and in honor of many who serve our country defending our freedom. Thank you. Would you please be seated?
For the presentation of the Class of 2022 class gift, Annalise Eubanks, Treasurer of the Class of 2022, and accepting Dr. Anthony Fitzpatrick, Assistant Superintendent.
For the presentation of the Class of 2022 class gift, on behalf of the Class of 2022, I would like to present to Delsea Regional High School this monetary donation. It will be used for Delsea Crusader wrap that will adorn the front hall as you enter the building. The wrap is intended to promote school spirit and exemplify our Delsea family pride.
On behalf of the Delsea Regional School District, it is my honor to gift from the class of 2022. Congratulations and good luck.
It is now with great pleasure that I present to you this evening our 2022 Salutatorian, Cassidy Driscoll.
Good evening, graduates, parents, staff, and guests. Before I begin, I would like to thank my parents, friends, family, and teachers for constantly supporting me and allowing me the opportunity to learn and grow, and for giving me the space to make mistakes. I would not be standing here today without your guidance, so thank you. I would also like for us to take a minute to remember the classmates we Anna Pio and Matthew McCluskey. Their lives were cut short, but they will forever be in our memories and in our hearts. The past 4 years have been filled with hardships and obstacles, joy and laughter. We faced a global pandemic. And as we reach the end of this journey, I ask you to consider the next journey ahead of you. Today is the day we all begin new adventures. Whether that means going to college, starting a career, joining the military, or following your own unique path. Today we leave the bubble that is high school and enter a world without a safety net, one without a familiar group of people to catch us if we fall. We are now venturing into the world of adulthood, and as adults, we will be given more freedoms and privileges than we've ever had before. Just remember that those privileges come with a certain level of power. So I'm going to ask you all to consider what you want to do with your power, how you can use it to affect change, and the good that can come from using your power to benefit others. You don't have to know exactly what you will do right now, but we are fortunate enough to have received an education which has given us a future with opportunities. So there's no better time in the present to realize the power you have to make the world a better place for yourself, those around you, and future generations. Finally, as we move on to our next journey and face the future, I would like for us to take a moment to remember the lives of those lost to gun violence and remember the children who will never be able to go on that journey themselves. Power can be manipulated and distorted, but it can also be used to accomplish incredible feats and perform acts of kindness. You have the power to influence others, especially those younger than you. You have the power to vote for what is right, and you have the power to create change on a major scale. Choose to do good with your power. Thank you.
At this time, I'm pleased to welcome Superintendent of Schools of the Delsea Regional School District, Dr. Pierre Gravener.
Good evening, parents, families, colleagues, board members. Most importantly, good evening, class of 2022. So I wrote about 6 speeches for this occasion and tore every single one up. I'm somewhat embarrassed to tell you that I just wrote this final version about 5 hours ago. I couldn't figure out why writing a speech for this class was so difficult. I mean, I love writing and giving speeches. I love hearing myself talk. It's one of the first things they teach you in Superintendent school. Find a captive audience, take credit for everything, and talk about yourself. I got an A in that class. Why couldn't I just do what I have always done for years, which is offer you some life advice, wish you luck, and send you on your way? Then it dawned on me, I don't think you need life advice. In the last 4 years, you have lived, survived, and thrived through more than almost any other graduating class that came before you. Let's recap, shall we? Starting in 2018, it started off really well. The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. What more could we want? Then in September, you started high school. All was still good. Everything seemed poised for a normal 4 years. You had plans, we had plans. What none of us expected was that in those 4 years, the world would turn upside down and you would have a front seat. Since 2018, when you first stepped into the halls of Delsea High School, some stuff has happened. Let's start with the obvious. There was a global pandemic during which 85 million Americans were infected and over 1 million died. Some of you lost parents, grandparents, and others close to you, and we grieved with you. Since 2018, when you first stepped into Delsea High School, there have been 119 school shootings, 27 just. You have been drilled on how to stay alive during a school day almost 30 years you entered Delsea. Since 2018, we've had racial unrest, the likes of which we haven't seen since the civil rights movement in the 1960s, and some of it was brought home right to our community doorstep. In 2018, our country has become the most since the Civil War. Since 2018, we have seen women rise up and say, "Me too." Since 2018, you've witnessed one of the most dramatic stock market crashes in history. You've seen a lot, and you've survived and thrived. You witnessed all that and more, so you don't need any advice from me or anyone else, really. In fact, I think the best advice I got was 13 years ago from your kindergarten teachers. There's actually a book called All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten, and it's true. While I'm sure that quadratic equations are very important, in fact, when the world around seems you to be chaotic and falling apart, those kindergarten lessons will carry you through. Let me remind you of what they were. Play fair, share, don't hit people, flush, treat others kindly, clean up your own mess, don't take things yours, say you're sorry when you hurt someone, put things back where you found them, and finally, it still holds true no matter how old you are, when you go out into the world, it's best to hold hands and stick together. Take a moment to look around you right now. These are your people. These are your roots. You grew up with each other. You will always have a shared history. So tomorrow morning, when you step off the yellow bus from Project Graduation, take a moment to look at each other and remember that you are a Delsea family and you will always have a home here. I wish you luck.
We are blessed to be here together today to celebrate our graduates, the Delsea class of 2022. I want to take this opportunity to celebrate the two members of the class of 2022 that you do not see on the field today. Matthew McCluskey and Hannah Pio were members of the class of 2022 who we lost way before their time. I never had the pleasure of meeting either one of them. The way this class carried on their memories made me realize just how special each of them are. I say they are and not they were because they never stopped being a part of these students' lives. They were in these hallways. They were on these athletic fields. They were in the classrooms. They were on the trips because where they always were was in the hearts of the Delsea class of 2022. Some bonds can never be broken, and some people stay with us forever. Hannah and Matthew were a Crusader family, are Crusader family, and will always be Crusader. Kind-hearted, jubilant, and selfless are all words that have been used to describe Matthew. Bubbly, beautiful, and loving are all words that have been used to describe Hannah. Graduate is now another word. At this time, I would ask Michelle Harding to come forward and accept the diploma that Matthew would have received had he been here today. At this time, I would also like to ask Kelsey Pio to come forward and accept the diploma that Hannah would have received had she been here today. Thank you to the McCluskey and Pio families for coming. It is indeed an honor and a distinct pleasure this evening to present to you our 2022 Valedictorian, Andrew Littlehales.
Good evening, parents, friends, faculty, and honored guests. Today we stand here at a cornerstone. With all of the decisions coming in our future, it may seem daunting to figure out the major life choices that we need to make, especially with the countless responsibilities bestowed upon us in just a few short weeks or months. But out of all of the decisions that there's an easy one that we can make right now. And it's one that to me stands out among the rest, and it can affect us and those around us and that is the decision to always smile. A smile, a simple demonstration of appreciation of and make connections and bridge gaps that work. Because I truly believe that smiling has the power to change the world. It is one of the single most amazing things that we humans have in our arsenal of communication. Smiling may be just a common gesture to convey one's gratitude, happiness, or joy. However, it is also something that can improve our mood and clear our minds, even if it's just for a second. Smiling is a stress reliever. It helps to put people at ease. It can even lessen sadness and act as an antidepressant. In fact, smiling is so rooted in our DNA that even some of those isolated communities in the world offer smiles when expressing joy. And yet, smiling is much more than that. Smiling helps us to make subtle connections with people who might otherwise pass by without a single. It is a simple commodity that we share selflessly. It is given with no tangible value, and let the value is priceless. Just upward tilting of the lips has the power to change, while maybe not the whole world, somewhat the world in a positive way. Now, I realize that smiling is not always possible, but it doesn't. We don't need to smile every hour of every day. Some days are just difficult, and that's okay. Walking around in a crisis with a smile on your face might cause more people to flee than bond with you, so use discretion. So why did I use this opportunity to talk about smiling? Besides the myriad of positive factors that smiling provides, it is something that can be done without much effort. It is something that can not only help you, but others as well. So when we embark into this new world with countless and numerous decisions that need to be made, choose to smile. Thank you.
Honored guests, board members, staff administration, parents, and friends. The Faculty Bowl is presented to an outstanding graduate in the class of 2022 who exemplifies for faculty the highest qualities of character, leadership, and scholarship. Accompanying this prestigious award is a $250 scholarship. This evening, it is my distinct pleasure, on behalf of the faculty, to present this award to the most outstanding student of the class of 2022 who has been selected by the faculty to receive our most coveted award, the Faculty Bowl. The 2022 Faculty Bowl winner is Christian Gaetano. At this time, I would like to recognize and thank our special community guests for sharing this evening with our graduates. Various members of the Delsea, Franklin Township, and Elk Board of Education members. Families of the top 2 students, president of the class of 2022, student government, and the National Honor Society. Thank you, everyone, for sharing this evening with us. At this time, it is my distinct pleasure to present the Delsea Regional School District's Board of Education Vice President, DeSilvio.
Good evening. It's an honor to be speaking on behalf of the Board of Education and celebrating the achievements of the Delsea Regional Class of 2022. We share with all of you the excitement and the elation of our graduating seniors, the pride of their families, and the deep satisfaction of the Delsea staff. For me, this day by far is the highlight of the year, and this year as a parent. As our graduates walk by, we see the product of an outstanding education at Delsea Regional. We see academic achievement, creative expression, athletic accomplishments, social responsibility, and community service. We see engineers and educators, architects, welders, and electricians, musicians and artists, activists, and volunteerism. With your Delsea journey at an end, we look forward and confidence to the next set of life experience awaiting for you. Again, I would like to congratulate the class of 2022 on all of your achievements. We wish you only the best. Thank you.
Please allow me to take a moment to introduce members of the Board of Education and others who are in attendance this evening. From the Delsea Board, we have Joseph Dominio, Gary Lightfoot Jr., and David Piccarello. From the Marilyn King Salmons, Gloucester County Commissioner Nick DeSilvio, and Gloucester County Sheriff Jonathan Salmons. And from Franklin Township, Chrissy Bellis, Committeeman Dave Deegan, and Jonathan Keene. Thank you all for being here this evening. While I'm mentioning people, I want to take a moment to just thank and acknowledge the efforts of our grounds crew and staff for making the field look so beautiful and making sure everything was right for the class of 2022. Thank you. You guys are amazing. At this time, we're going to recognize our Crusaders. In the words of a military great, George S. Patton, it is a proud privilege to be a soldier, a good soldier with discipline, pride in his unit and his country, a high sense of duty and obligation to comrades, to his supervisors, and a self-confidence born of demonstrated ability. Today marks the occasion for recognition of a special award called the Crusaders Crusader Award. This award will be presented to members of the class of 2022 who have enlisted in a specific branch of our military. We are honored to award these fine students with a small token of gratitude, a special medal for their pride and dedication to the United States of America. To serve our country in this capacity is the highest honor bestowed upon an individual, and I am proud of their commitment and their willingness to sacrifice to keep our country safe. Please join me in honoring the following enlistees as members of the Armed Forces. We will be assisted by Assistant Principals Mr. Paul Bardelli and Sidoni Maitland at the front of the stage. Cadets, as your name is called, please join us in front of the stage and stand facing your classmates and remain there until all of our courageous Crusaders are properly recognized. Audience, please hold your applause until all have come forward. Enlisted with the United States Air Force, Fithian. Enlisted with the New Jersey Army National Guard, Cole Good. And enlisted in the United States Navy, Victoria Conley. Proud men and women that have willingly volunteered to protect our country, the United States of America, by serving in the military, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. May your days be filled with determination, dignity, and honor. May God bless you and keep you safe. Cadets, at this time, please turn around and face our Delsea community. Let's show our appreciation for these men and women who have decided to protect our freedom. May peace shine through for these cadets in all our nation. Cadets, you may return to your seat. Thank you so much. I am truly honored to speak to you, the class of 2022, and to the people who are important. For administration, the faculty, the staff, the board, and the community, it is a day of great pride when we send a group of Delsea graduates out into the real world. We send them out there knowing that they are prepared. For parents, guardians, family, friends, and mentors of our graduates, this is as much about you as it is about the graduates themselves. You've given guidance. You've been a disciplinarian. You've shared laughs and celebrated. You've consoled while wiping away tears and so much more. Class of 2022, make sure you thank your loved ones for the place and the commitment they have given to you so you could succeed in this journey. It's customary for the principal to speak at graduation, but I have to tell you, I consider it a privilege to me. So as I stand before you, I can't help but think about the big three. The big three is certainly not Kim, Courtney, and Chloe, just to let you know. I think the big three are things that should always be in a person's mind, but especially when you hit those very special moments in your life. Those three things are where you started, where you are, and where you want to get to. Simply, your past, your present, and your future. I remember your past here. I remember this class coming into freshman orientation. They thought they had some swag. I hate to break it to you, but it was kind of laughable. You may be taller than me now, but you were a bunch of twerps back then. High school was going to be a breeze, but then there were challenging cell phone write-ups. Hello, Mr. Chang. Coaches that were grinding you. Flamin' Marquez may come to mind. Miss Fair refusing to let you give up in algebra. Dr. Maitland and the dress code. And Mr. Birdley and his non-negotiables. I'm getting tired just thinking about it. But you kept grinding and you made it through freshman year. Then came sophomore year. The pandemic, lockdowns, teenagers forced to spend all of their time in the house with their parents and siblings. What could possibly go wrong? Quarantines, even when you felt fine. That really seemed to make sense. Online learning. You expect me to learn while I could literally do anything else in the world on this device. Are you kidding me? Cohort? I didn't even know what a cohort was before the pandemic. Masks? No, let's not even go there. And the regular challenges that go along with being a high schooler. Here's a short list. Academics, athletics, extracurriculars, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, jobs, driving, SATs, college decisions, and perhaps the biggest challenge of all to navigate, social media. Social media. I know it's a huge part of your present, but let's talk about what it really is. I remember when we started school, I could walk down the hallway without seeing a kid with his head locked down on a phone, hearing about a hashtag, a selfie with duck lips, a TikTok dance. Oh yeah, there was a time when I could walk down the hallway without seeing a phone on a ledge and somebody going. That's a little dad gritty for you. The thing you have to remember about social media is it's not reality. TikTok, Snapchat, the Gram, Facebook for the old heads. They are not reality. It's easy to say, but don't ever let these platforms or the people that are your friends make you feel less than you are. You know what is reality? You know what the present is? It's Andrew Littlehales. He's the valedictorian of the class and one of the best distance runners in the state has ever seen. When people post on Instagram about a party you weren't invited to, remember who you are and what you accomplished. Jason Wosu is reality. Jason is one of the best track athletes in the state. Peers. He stands out academically and carries himself with a class and a pride that's truly rare. When someone wants to troll you with a negative comment after a Twitter post, I implore you to remember who you are and what you've accomplished. Peyton Slater is going to be an SEC cheerleader. She's top 5 in her officer, one of the most active members of the National Honor Society. If you could define school spirit in a picture, it would be Peyton Slate's. When someone snaps a comment about what you are wearing, or what you look like, or who your friends are, remember, those that matter don't matter. Asha Parker is reality. She walked into this school a shy little freshman. Look at her now, a JROTC officer, a key member of the drama club, a star in the play for 4 years. When someone posts a passive-aggressive criticism of you because they can't understand your choices, take pride in the fact that you're a straightforward person who doesn't hide but rather stands tall in the face of adversity. The present is Kevin Hinson. Kevin excelled in the classroom and in the workforce. Kevin's now A+ certified in the technology field with 2 years of experience under his belt. He's going straight into the workforce, driving in style in his new K5. His career is off to a flying start. When someone on social media questions your choice because it wasn't traditional, show them your paycheck. I'm just kidding. Remember, the most important thing, you're doing something that makes you happy. Someone will try to convince you that reality is something else. But remember who you are and what your reality is. Delsea has been your reality for quite a few years now, and Franklin or Aura for most of you before that. Now it's time for your reality to change. It's happy, it's sad, it's exciting, all at once. So let's discuss where you are going, your future. You will go in many different directions. If you look to your left and to your right, some people you will never see again after this weekend. Some of you will be alongside of you throughout the rest of the ride we call life. No matter what your direction is, I know one thing for sure. You're poised to be a difference maker in this world. Some of you will in the medical field. Some of you will make a difference in business. Some in entertainment. I know we have a few social media stars out there already. Some in construction. Some in law enforcement. Some sports. Some politics. You can go into politics, don't become a politician. Sorry, politicians. Some education. But I guarantee you that you will have an impact on tomorrow and all the tomorrows that follow. Many of you will be parents, and that's the biggest difference of all, being a great parent. Class of 2022, you are special. I can't wait to see what your future holds. Good luck. Board Vice President, Mrs. Tina DeSilvio, members of the Delsea Regional School District Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Gravener, Assistant Superintendent Dr. Fitzpatrick, members of the administration and faculty, guests, parents, and friends, I am pleased to present the class of 2022 for graduation. To present the diplomas, I call to the stage Mrs. Tina DeSilvio, Vice President of the Board of Education, Mr. David Piccirillo, member of the Board of Education. They will be assisted by Superintendent Dr. Gravener, myself, and Vice Principals Mr. Paul Baradelli and Dr. Sidoni Mason. Names will be announced by the senior Mrs. Patricia Gaetano and Mrs. Melissa Pilotowski.